Alright guys, welcome back here to another episode here of The House is Divided. I'm kidding, House Divided. Yeah man, great weekend. Great weekend in Vegas as well. We had a lot of fun. Lost some money, but hey, it's Vegas.
It's life.
But yeah man, let's go straight into this. Our best bets. I went 3 and 5, 12 and 12 overall. Still even, I guess.
Even 500's 500, man.
Yeah. And then yeah, man. What'd you go? I don't remember.
It's a pretty bad streak. Clemson and South Carolina were both horrendous, but the NFL saved me with the Rams winning by more than 5.5 points and Sam Darnold hitting over more than 100 yards over where his line was at.
So 2 and 2.
2 and 2.
An even weekend.
An even weekend.
But we'll go straight into it. I put this at the top of the show for a reason, man. A&M wins in a shootout in South Bend. Thoughts, concerns, anything for those two teams?
All I remember is Matt Franco was more entertaining than them.
Okay.
No, it was a good game. There was a holding on that last play, just to clarify. That should not have been a touchdown. But
Wow, man.
but missed calls are part of the game. No, they look pretty good. That's a big win over a team that was in the national championship a year ago. So they are number 10 now, and justifiably so. Big win for A&M. I like the way their offense looked. I think Marcel Reed is looking a lot better in the passing game. KC is obviously phenomenal, and Mario Carver's trying to establish himself as a true great number 2 right now for KC, who can develop into a true number 1.
I mean,
So.
he technically on the depth chart is number 2, man. But
He was playing better, maybe
Yeah.
even so. So absolutely phenomenal from both of them, and I think that's the real takeaway. It's how good that passing game was, something which hadn't been really present years before.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think I'll talk about the positives first.
Mhm.
Marcel Reed really improved throwing the ball. He doesn't really look to scramble unless he
Yeah.
needs to, like it should be. He really tried to stay in that pocket, which last year was an issue. He would try to create too much and lead to turnovers or a sack or whatever. But this year, or at least in these first 3 games, he's shown he can stand in the pocket and deliver a strike to those 2 great receivers. I mean, Mario Craver, what was it, 220 yards,
Yeah.
a touchdown. I don't know, not that many catches. He's more like a
He was an explosive
deep
play.
depth,
Yeah.
but yeah. I think he's averaging 150 yards per game, like 20 yards per catch. He has a touchdown each game. He had 2 in 1. I mean, he's really, if he continues this,
Yeah.
he's really throwing himself out there for a historic receiver season. Obviously, he needs to stay consistent. And then on the defensive side, it is concerning, especially these first 3 early games, giving up a lot of points to Utah State and UTSA. Kind of what I said in my segment I made that first episode, a little concerned about the secondary, and it still kind of remains.
Yeah.
I mean, Notre Dame is a good offense. They have talent everywhere, but letting kind of like a freshman quarterback just dot us up like that and score 40 points is concerning, obviously, because we're
Especially since he wasn't able to do that against LSU.
Yeah,
Oh,
because
so.
Miami, you mean.
Yeah, Miami. Sorry,
Yeah,
I don't know what I was thinking of Clemson's disaster.
Yeah.
And
but,
I got against Miami.
Yeah, so I think that's a little concerning, especially because we're going to play better offenses down the line. So I think, Elko is supposed to be a defensive-minded coach, so I hope he gets that fixed for the conference play. But, I loved what I see from the Aggies there. That's a game we usually lose, so it was a great dub. Obviously, last second, a little stressful, and it led a botched field goal for us to get the outright win, or extra point. But, great win. Notre Dame side of things, obviously 0-2, but, those were your 2 toughest opponents.
Yeah.
Problems
are going to be, can they find a spot? Because I don't know if one's going to open up when you're not going to have a signature win.
Yeah, but if you win out here, what team? USC just crept up in the top 25, so that they can be a marking win. Arkansas is not a bad win there.
Yeah.
So I think if you win out and a couple of teams slip up, there's
There's
not enough
possibilities.
2 lost teams they could slide in there, but they have to really look dominating in those wins and also take care of business. But I think this team might miss out the playoffs this year, but next year could be scary with Carr having a little more games under his
with
belt.
experience.
Yeah. But yeah, man. Moving on to the second game at the same time was happening, a little less exciting. DJ Lagway threw a whopping 5 interceptions in a close loss to LSU, only a 10-point win for the Tigers there. What are your takeaways from this game, and what are your thoughts on DJ Lagway?
Takeaways. I mean, good defensive showing, great defensive showing from LSU, and I'll even go as far as good defensive showing from Florida as well.
I mean, great. If your offense turns it over
only
five times and you
and
only give up 20 points too.
Exactly. So Nussmeier didn't do anything special like he really hasn't all year, which was kind of been the expectation. That kind of continued as well. So hopefully, I mean, you got the win, which is what matters. The defense is looking great, which is what matters. That's what I'll say for LSU. For Florida, oh my God. Even your Prince, who was promised, is now looking like he's in the trenches. Like he hasn't developed. He's regressing. 5 interceptions. 5 bad interceptions.
They were all terrible.
They were all bad interceptions. 5 of them were his fault. It was just a bad showing. That really does show, I mean, how all the hyped quarterbacks this year have looked bad. Martin Manning has looked bad. Sellers hasn't looked good. Lagway's looked terrible after. That's what the only way you can call it. Klubnik's looked bad as well. Nussmeier hasn't lived up to expectations. So he's been decent, but his expectations were great.
Yeah, you actually kind of beat me to it. I was going to start off saying all the hyped up quarterbacks in the offseason, like, it's their season. They're going to lead their teams to great things. It's not the ones performing. It's the Marcel Reeds. It's the
it's John Mateer,
Carson Beck, the guys that John Mateer was kind of hyped up, but not to the extent of these guys. But Carson Beck, everyone was like,
everybody doubted him.
He's proven.
Joey
Reed,
Aguilar.
a little doubt. Joey Aguilar was like, can he lead Tennessee to a great season? And he had a great game. Gunnar Stockton was doubted a little bit, had a great game. So
the only ones who were hyped, who haven't been terrible, they've just been average, were Nussmeier and Aller. The other ones have been bad.
Yeah. Aller also,
Aller's
we haven't
played
seen him.
yet.
We haven't seen him an opportunity where he needs to take over a game or do much for that Penn State team. But he hasn't done anything that's stood out. But
even some other young Cyan wasn't great this week either.
Yeah, but I think for Florida, you got
some hard games left.
You got Miami, and then I don't know if they have a bye, but then I know they play Texas.
Oh
no, they don't.
It's a bye. There's a bye. I think it's LSU. Is it?
I know they play us early October as well.
LSU, Miami, by Texas, I think is the way it was.
Yeah, and then I think A&M's after. So they have a bunch of it's looking daunting for Billy Napier and the Gators. And I think as a Florida fan, all you have to hope for is to see DJ Lagway actually improve. And see what you got going into next season, which has kind of been the story for Florida these last couple of years. And for LSU,
look to capitalize off of turnovers is all I'm going to say. Yeah. You can't only score 20 points off of 5 interceptions. So.
Yeah, and I think also we thought this offense was going to be the explosive
high-powered
kind, like with Jane Daniels and what we saw from LSU last year, but it's been the opposite. It's good to see that defense create turnovers and hold good offensive teams to low point totals. But at some point, you got to get this offense rolling because, you're going to play Texas. You're going to, maybe in the championship or playoffs, you're going to play Georgia, who have great offenses and defenses, so you need your offense to kind of step it up.
Agreed.
But, yeah, man, another...
I touched a little on these guys. They're big disaster of a year after the expectations.
I look like a fool, man.
So do I. Texas isn't looking good at all. But at least that's my school. Georgia Tech stuns Clemson. A two-parter here. Is Clemson on fraud watch, or are they already frauds? Or 2, is it that Georgia Tech is the real deal?
I think Georgia Tech is a really good team. I still think Clemson should have taken care of business with the pieces and coach and talent they have on that team. But I think Georgia Tech is a great team. I don't think they're scrubs, and it was a terrible loss. For Clemson here, kind of like a Notre Dame situation. they have to win out and make their conference championship and win to get in. And it's very possible if they get the ball rolling. Obviously, we haven't seen it yet this season,
Yeah.
but they have the pieces to turn it around. I just hope they do because I think that team's really good and really talented. And I would love to see Cade succeed and lead that team to greatness. But, I mean, right now, I would say they're on fraud because we haven't seen them being anything else besides what they are. It's only what we think they can be. So I would put them on fraud watch. And then Georgia Tech, great win. You put yourself up there in the ACC championship contention. And, I mean, they're really good. Haynes King really improved throwing the ball, which I didn't expect. And, I mean, that running attack, it's deadly. That's their strong point. So.
Yeah, I agree. Especially, I mean, why do I say especially? I mean, on both parts. Georgia Tech looked great. They're definitely have full control of getting a spot in the ACC championship against Miami, who's looked like the only better team in the ACC right now than them. Clemson, you really have a hard uphill battle now, and you're going to have a serious turnaround because you play like that. Other teams on your schedule that were considered easy slam dunk games all of a sudden aren't. So, like you said, they're very, very talented still. If they can turn it around, they could still make the playoffs with a win against South Carolina. Maybe if South Carolina turns it around again, who knows? It's an uphill battle for sure.
Yeah, man. Obviously would love to see them turn around, but they got to string 10 wins in a row.
Yeah.
But
that's never
speaking of a great matchup, this was also an amazing game here. Another last-second win, kind of like the Georgia Tech game. Georgia squeaks by Rocky Top in overtime there.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts of both teams, the game, everything?
What a game, man. It's bad when they kept panning to the kicker after the kick and then into overtime. But really liked what I saw from Georgia. Obviously, you don't want to see your team let up 40 points defensively, and so that's obviously a concern. They're gonna have to clean up for some big games coming up in the year. But really liked what I saw from the offense from Gunnar Stockton, the way they were able to, when they got a little far down and were low, they turned it around, made up the comeback, and then they looked great in overtime as well to get that game winner. So definitely what you want to see. I think they looked like the best SEC team. I think they looked great. Definitely better than LSU because I feel like this week only. So I think they earned it. And there's a lot to look like for them going forward. And this is the kind of like the classic Georgia win that they missed last year. Well, I mean they beat Texas handedly, but it wasn't. I think it's what part of it was why they were able to fall short in the end because they didn't have the battle. Now they have the battle. But for Tennessee, what a game. You lit it up. I didn't think you'd get that close. Good for them. And you're definitely real SEC contenders in my eyes now, even after a loss like that.
Yeah,
you should have won with that field goal. You didn't. It happens. That's football. But Joey Aguilar and that team, really, really good.
Yeah, that offense is explosive. Reminds a little of that Hendon Hooker offense.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Joey Aguilar he had one bad interception, but besides that, had a beautiful game. And obviously put his team in position to win, and the kicker couldn't seal the deal. Kind of different vibe from these teams. They were more usually it's a defensive battle, and they're focused on defense. And this time it was offense. Gunnar Stockton was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Put his name up there in the Heisman top
on the list.
Yeah. So I think for Georgia, this was the game I saw him slip up. I mean, obviously I could see him losing to Texas, but besides that, I think they could take care of business all the way to the championship. 100%
take care of business.
And obviously they have a tough game with Bama also coming in, but since it's at home, I am going to pick them.
Since it's at home, and I think Georgia's looked far better than Alabama has this year.
And for Tennessee, I mean, they could end up like last year with 2 losses and still make it in. I think when they go to Alabama, they'll pick up that second loss. But we'll see down the stretch. But I really like both these teams. I think Georgia's the best team in the conference, and Tennessee's up there in the 3 to 4 range. And they could even move up to that number 2 if they keep playing like they did on Saturday. Yeah, man, that concludes it for our college segment. Let's move on here to
the
NFL. Cowboys, a little scary game there. 64-yard field goal to send it to overtime by Mr. Aubrey, uh, versus Giants. I'll start us off here. I mean, obviously it's a little concerning. We had to go to these stretches for the Giants. Our defense, it's kind of like the Aggie defense, just letting everyone throw the ball and score at will. Malik Neighbors had a big game. Russell Wilson looked like Seattle Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
And
the Dallas did had 3 DBs out.
yeah. I mean, it's still concerning because this is what's happened last season in the playoffs before. Obviously, would love to clean that up. I mean, our offense always knew they were going to be explosive. Always knew we're going to have a deadly passing attack. Loved what I saw from getting Pickens more involved. Kept them a little happy. CD had a decent game. Jake Ferguson had a bunch of crucial catches. Yeah. So, I mean, obviously concerning on the offensive side of the ball, great. Obviously, big win for momentum. If we went 0-2 in that situation, everything would kind of fall off. So, I mean, not the way I wanted to win, but happy we got the win.
Yeah, that's definitely great offense. You like what you saw there, that you're really not going to complain from a Cowboys side. Offensively, defensively, I mean, it's the same issues you expected. You're hurt on the back. You lost Bland.
No pass rush.
No pass rush because you lost Micah. The Giants weren't really – the main thing was they were attacking because Russ was throwing the deep ball great. Neighbors is obviously just their big threat offensively, so they attacked your weakness and they were able to do it well, which is going to be a concern going forward, obviously, for Dallas. You're going to have to get healthy and maybe change some things around. For the Giants, that's what you wanted to see offensively. You exploded – something you haven't been able to do for years, really. Malik Neighbors is a true wide receiver one in this league. Wan'Dale Robinson having an impressive game himself. I don't really know what much to expect from the rest of that receiver room. Those guys did really lay out. So if you have 2, that's good enough. Scatterbo, great in pass pro is another thing I'll say. He's really being a character guy who's going to be able to. Hopefully, he can turn around the character of that team. And I really like the physicality he brought, and I think he's going to more and more take carries from Tyrone Tracy. Defensively, though, that's what worries me. That was supposed to be the strength of your team, and you're letting up 41 points. So that's, I think, the more concerning part for Giants fans. The pass rush looked good at times. You obviously do have Carter, you have Burns, you have Thibodeau. The D-line was good.
Dexter Lawrence as well.
Dexter Lawrence, yeah, obviously, but he's interior, so
I'll ask you a cool question. On paper, is that not a top 3 pass rush in the league?
100%.
Yeah. So I think for the Giants, you would like to see it more. They show flashes.
Yeah, exactly.
And obviously, they need some help.
That's what I'm saying.
They're very
concerning because you
didn't
love
get to see them make more impacts on games.
You didn't see the impact you wanted from them, and yeah, the back end's a lot weaker than their pass rush, but it's still decent.
You still want to see. So. I mean, they did have a little impact in this game. Dak got a little beat up at times, but I think from those 4 names, like we said, top 3 pass rush, you would like to see them impact games, especially close games like that. That concludes that game. From my team to your team, the Steelers offense came a little back down to earth this past Sunday against the Seahawks. What are your thoughts on that game? What are your thoughts on that loss?
I think we should just start playing Chris Boswell at every position on the field, bro. He's the greatest player to ever play football. Yeah, it's the Steelers. That's just what we've been for years now. Basically, since like Dick LeBeau left, we just can't. Our defensive schemes have been the same schemes for years. We failed to adapt. It's just coaching, man. It's not good offensively. It's not good defensively. We hit a brick wall on offense, and then we were Swiss cheese on defense. Terrell Austin was not good at adapting to anything. I don't know why TJ thought we had the schemes. We didn't. We obviously lost 3. I think Porter was playing hurt. Deshaun Elliott wasn't playing. Derek Harmon, our first-round pick, isn't playing. But there's too many good players on that team to beat Swiss cheese. So very, very concerning. I don't think this is really going to change. Obviously, I don't think we're going to let 30 points up every game. So maybe we get a little better, but I don't think we're going to have any real changes until there's serious coaching changes. And I don't just mean the coordinators. I mean, you got to get everybody from the top down. So, I mean, I do still think we're going to be able to manage 9 wins. I don't think that's out of our picture yet, but I think it's just
9
another
and
year.
8, man. That's
9
the
and 8.
other way.
I think it's just going to be another typical year for the Steelers. They just might do it a little differently. Instead of holding teams to 10 points and winning 13-10, we'll be able to win games 28-21, but then we'll choke another game and lose the next week 17-45. So it's going to be the same end result, maybe look a little different along the way.
To me, from the Seahawks side, I'll speak a little bit about that. JSN, great game.
Great game. Kenneth Walker, 8.1
yeah.
yards per carry.
Yeah, amazing game.
Yeah.
People were kind of saying after week 1, Charbonnet's taking the reins,
Yeah,
but
no.
Kenneth's like, nah, I'm still here. I think that's a great 2-back attack.
Yeah.
Darnold looked good. JSN had a big game. I mean, he's the number 1 target for a great quarterback. I think a great quarterback who always tries to find his number 1.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he'll be big this season, fantasy-wise, Seahawks-wise, anything-wise.
Anything-wise.
He'll really cement himself in the top 10 there.
Yeah, they wouldn't have traded DK if they didn't know they had this guy.
Yeah. And, I mean, Kupp had a decent game. Like what you would like to see from a veteran receiver chipping in here and there.
Yeah.
But, yeah, man, I think the Seahawk team could be a wild card team.
Yeah,
I like
absolutely.
that defense, young, hungry. And I think from the Steelers side, kind of piggybacking off what you said, typical Steelers, 10-7, 9-8, wild card loss. But I mean, they're always a tough out for any team. It's rare you see them get blown out. So I think they'll be good and pick up some wins when the people don't expect them to, and lose.
Yeah,
some
we'll
games
beat
when
the
people-
Ravens, and then we're gonna turn around the next week and lose to Cleveland.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, let's move on. Speaking of the AFC North, let's stay in there. Something very important for that division. No Joe Burrow, no problem, as Browning leads the Bengals to a win. But how does the season outlook look for you now that he's out for around 3 months?
Yeah, it is. It is. Browning is a decent backup. He's not an
Came in and did
extreme-
good, man.
Yeah, he had 3 terrible mistakes, but the win's the win. A couple years ago, Browning was able to manage some wins when Burrow was out with the wrist. I think even Browning might have even beat the Steelers that year. I think that might be correct, or maybe he didn't. No, I think he beat somebody else. I think the Steelers won twice. I'm not sure, but Browning's decent. So I don't think their drop off will be super crazy. He'll be able to manage some games, win some games against the lower level teams with those 2 receivers that he has. All you really need is, as long as he has them in a position to chase the 7 seed come December, then you always have a chance because Joe Burrow will come back in December. If the season outlook is you have had a rough schedule, there's no way you're going to get the 7 seed, then I think Browning plays the rest of the year and they have a high pick and hopefully they get an actual defender who will actually change the way they play defense, and maybe next year's their year. But that's really all there is for it too.
It's a tough loss. I mean, the Bengals
I mean,
usually start
it's an
season.
MVP level quarterback.
Well,
it's
yeah.
one of the top 4. Yeah, you don't make that up there's no way.
Usually this Bengals team start 0-2, and this year they started 2-0.
Yeah.
A little hot. I think I'm looking at their schedule now. They have a tough couple 5 games in a row where without Joe Burrow, I don't see him winning. We're at Minnesota, at Denver.
Well, it depends on if Wentz is playing, because Wentz is playing this week. So 2 backups, that could benefit. So,
but after that, versus Lions, versus Packers, versus Steelers, and then you have a couple wins here.
all right,
versus,
Lions and Packers, I'll give it to you. Browning could beat us. I have that.
and then versus the Jets, Bears, Patriots. So there's some wins
There's
there.
wins there. There's definitely
So
wins.
I think if you
That's-
get to
that's-
Joe
if
Burrow
they- if
with
he-
7-8 wins with a couple games left, he could take you to
If
the
he wins
promised
the
land.
easy ones, if he has you at 500 with 3-4 weeks left in the year when Burrow comes in, I think they're good.
Yeah, so I think that's all you. It's a week by week thing, and see. I don't rush Joe Burrow back. Be
Yeah.
patient. He's your franchise guy.
Yeah.
Um,
You just have to the one thing you're hoping for is he doesn't go Andrew Luck or Carson Palmer on you.
Yeah. But we'll see, man. The Jaguar side, I mean, this team should have won that game. Brian Thomas had a concerning
Some
bad
very
game.
concerning drops.
But I think he'll get it back. He'll get his confidence back, and next week or the week after, he'll be back to himself. But I mean, that offense is really clicking.
Yeah.
And defensively, a little
concerning,
but nothing crazy. I
no
still
no
think
time to hit the panic button.
No one expected a crazy unit from that side of the ball, so I think they're just doing what they're expected.
But you're 1-1.
Yeah.
Houston
0-2.
Yeah.
Big showdown this weekend. Again.
Exactly. So
Colts
you're in pole
2-0,
position ahead of them. It's the Colts that are the big threat in that division. So, and quite frankly, you never know when the Daniel Indiana Jones streak is gonna. If he might play like that all year. Sam Darnold last year didn't fall off until like week 15. So it's very real that Daniel Jones could do that again. But I think you have a good chance of winning that division. So no time to hit the panic button.
Yeah,
at all. Not even close.
And even if Joe Burrow didn't go,
Yeah.
I mean, obviously he did go down, but if he didn't, I didn't think you guys would win that game. But all right, man. Moving on to the Eagles versus Chiefs. The Eagles get a 1-up again in the Super Bowl rematch. Kansas City goes 0-2, which is weird to say.
But great to say.
Great to say. But yeah, man, what are your thoughts on these two teams? I mean, I feel like we kind of the same thing we're going to say, but go ahead.
Yeah, Kansas really does have an uphill battle. You got to play the Chargers again. You got to play the Bills and the Ravens. You got to play the Broncos twice. Obviously, the Broncos lost this week, and they haven't looked as good as expectations had them. But you still have hard games ahead of you. You have a hard schedule ahead of you, and the Chargers are looking great, which I think is the biggest concern, more so than you. Yeah, you had a close game here. You played Philly well. Came down to small moments. Came down to not having receivers. You're obviously going to get Rashid Rice and Xavier Worthy back at one point, which is going to really help them turn around for the late part of the season. There's not really. I mean, you were. I think what happened was expected. I think physically you were going to get dominated by Philadelphia. The run game for Philadelphia was great. That was expected. You didn't let up a lot in the passing game. That was expected. This inverse, I mean the same thing. Philadelphia played the way I expected them to. Good defensively, very solid defensively. Shout out to Andrew Makuba. Interception and a sack. Not a lot of people are talking about it. He had a good game. And then obviously the silly mistakes that you made by Kansas a little but Kansas can still turn it around, hopefully sooner rather than later because you have a hard schedule, but I'm not worried. Philly, you looked great. Maybe not as great as you hoped, but you looked great. That's really it for me.
Yeah, I think the big story out of this game people are talking about is the 7 tush pushes.
Yeah.
There by the Eagles. Obviously, controversy of some. There was flags, whatever. At the end of the day, they got those first downs. They won the game, a close game. I think Jalen Hurts only has like 100 yards.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just shows they could just win by dominating anyone.
Yeah, well, I will say for the tush push, they have been lining up offsides and even kind of jumping on some of them, and they don't get it called. So
yeah, that's what people are upset about. They're like, if you're gonna do it, at least do it the legal way.
Yeah, which I think they've never really done it the legal way. It's just never been caught.
Yeah,
that's what I think every team does the QB sneak legally. They're the way it's supposed to be, and they don't.
And they don't get it as often as
as often.
Yeah, but. I mean, that's not the reason they won. I just brought it up because a lot of people are talking about it. Kansas City side, I think it's evident you don't have a number one guy. I think it's evident that the O-line is struggling as well. So, I mean, that's what led to the Super Bowl loss. Not the people getting open necessarily, the O-line. But I think once you get Rice back and Worthy back, it will get that offense back. And I think the Chiefs will start rolling. Maybe they don't win the division this year. They hop in as a wild card team, but we've seen them go on the road at any place in the playoffs and
able
win.
to win.
So I wouldn't be surprised if this team ends up in the Super Bowl. It's Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. You can't count them out. And Travis Kelce's been there.
But they got to face the Chargers.
I'm
back. Oh, I was never off the train,
yeah.
but I was just a little scared and concerned at one point. But the Chargers have proven me right. Thank God.
But,
I've only been on their hype train for like 7 years now, and they're finally doing it.
Hey, we need to see it in the playoff.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a tough 2-game stretch for the Chiefs. There, going to Brazil to play the tough team in the Chargers, and then flying back to play the Super Bowl champions. So, I mean, 0-2 is not how you want to start, but considering the situations, they'll bounce back. And then Philadelphia looks like they'll be the number 1 in the conference, take care of business, and be a tough out. Hopefully they slip up somewhere, but
hey, Chiefs got the Giants this week. Don't pull a Dallas, man. Don't let him. Let him torture.
Hey, Sunday night in New York, man. You never know. There's some magic there.
Dude, they do that every year. Like when they lost to the Colts a year or 2 years ago, they just lose some silly games every year against like the worst team.
Yeah. But that's when they already have 10
when
wins.
They already have, yeah.
Not when they're 0-2. I think we have 1 game left, correct?
We still gotta talk about. No, we got a couple. We gotta talk about we gotta talk about the Bake Show. Yeah. My fantasy QB.
Yes, sir. Had a big game against the Texans. Yeah, man. The Bake Show. Bucks start 2-0. Texans 0-2. To me, I mean, we expected this from Tampa. High-powered offense, a good rushing defense. I think that's kind of been the recipe since Tom Brady got there. Yeah. Ibuka, fucking weapon. Excuse my language.
Stud.
Yeah.
Star.
You can throw quick to him, run, screen, whatever, get open, deep, anything. It'll be scary once they get all their receivers back healthy. Bucky had a good game catching the ball and running. And then on the Texans side of the ball, I mean, it's just hard when your only weapon is Nico Collins. So it was kind of evident in that game. Offensive line is atrocious. I think that's been their biggest issues over the years, and they just make it worse by trading away your best player and letting guys walk. So I think that's really concerning, and honestly, I don't think they're going to win the South, and I don't think they're even going to make the playoffs, to be honest, unless they switch something on that O-line. And then on the defensive side of the ball.
I don't think anybody from the South will make the playoffs if they don't win their division.
Yeah.
From either conference.
Yeah. NFC. Yeah, definitely. But, what was I going to say? I think defensive side of the ball for the Texans, they were they were good last year because they created a lot of turnovers. We haven't seen that yet.
Yeah.
I think Stingley's a really good player and Will Anderson, but they need the others.
They need him to
step up, and those stars to really show up in big ways and create some turnovers.
Yeah, I agree with that. Big Monday night game, which is very, very fun. That'll conclude a little recap, and let's move on to this week in college football. 2 Big 12 contenders. Kansas State and this isn't the preseason anymore. Utah and Texas Tech, man. What are you expecting? What's your prediction?
I'm expecting a massive game. I think this could be the decider of which one of these teams make the conference championship and could lead to the playoffs. Both had a great start to the season. I do have Utah winning this. Mm-hmm. I think not only home field, obviously we've seen a lot of great teams in the past go in there and lose. I also think this Utah team is better offensively than we've seen them in a while. Usually they're a stout defense, and they're not as stout as they used to be, but they're still really good. But that offense has really been firing in these first couple of weeks. Mm-hmm. And I think that combined with the home crowd, I think Utah will take care of business. I did pick them to win the Big 12 because I saw all their big games were at home. So I do think they'll take care of business and keep rolling. And then for Tech, this isn't a terrible loss. You can still bounce back and fight for that conference championship.
Yeah, I'm picking Utah as well. The way Devin Dampier has been playing this year is incredible.
Reminds you of Cameron Rising when he was healthy.
Yeah. Yeah, the way they're playing, they are better offensively than they've been since they beat Caleb Williams in the championship game.
Yeah, and at home too, they beat him.
Yeah, so they're looking really good, and I think I'm giving them the edge because of that as well. I think they're kind of even in the defensive aspect, so that's giving me the edge. All right.
Yeah, I think I'm excited. I think it'll be a very defensive game, but it'll be a great game. I think the game after at 2:30, we got Jackson Arnold revenge game. OU versus Auburn. Yeah, man. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, Jackson Arnold is not getting revenge, and Oklahoma knows it. They're like, this guy's pulling up. I think a couple weeks ago, Oklahoma played another ranked team, and won handedly. And I think it's going to be very similar to that game. I think Auburn's going to try to do what they've been doing. They have better receivers than Michigan, I'll say. But I do think they're going to not be able to get going against that strong Oklahoma defense. They're going to be able to strike at moments with the receivers or maybe Jackson Arnold in the run game. But I just think Oklahoma scores a little too much early. And I think if anywhere a point gets close, I think they have the better defense to hold off Auburn, and they have the better quarterback for a big play, and the better offense, frankly, for anything that needs to be made up in the end. So I'm giving it to John Mateer, the current Heisman favorite, and the Sooners.
Yeah, I think this could be an ugly blowout.
Yeah, it could be an ugly blowout, or it could be. On any chance that it's close, I'm still leaning Oklahoma.
Yeah, I think Oklahoma. I mean, if you're Oklahoma, you have to win this game. For the hopes you have. Ever since Brent Venables started calling the defense, we've seen them really improved on that side of the ball. I think Jackson Arnold maybe he's going to try to do a little bit too much and lead to some mistakes. I do think he's going to have a decent game, but I think the difference is the best player is on the other side of the ball, and he's going to just, I think, torch this Auburn defense. And what's a little concerning that I would like to see from Oklahoma's games, maybe establish the run a little bit more. I think they haven't really been able to do that in these games. Maybe because they have no running game, but I mean, you have to be balanced for some big games. So maybe try to lean on the run a little bit in the start, or see some improvement in that aspect. It's kind of what I'm looking for Oklahoma in this game, and see if that defense also shows up again. But yeah, man, I think OU, especially at home, it's hard to pick against them.
Yeah, I really like that shout, and there's really no going against that.
Yeah. And then Auburn has to go to A&M, tough back-to-back games right there.
Yeah, against two terrible, disgusting teams. One's a true rival, one's just little brother, but they both suck.
All right, moving on to this next one. Obviously, Lenore Sellers went down last week.
War Eagle.
In that other game, can South Carolina bounce back versus this hot Missouri team?
Can they? Yes, they can.
Well,
they have the quarterback? Yes, they do. Do they have the edge rusher? Yes, they do. Do they have a receiver? Yes, they do. But they're just still not playing well. I've kind of had it with my off-season darlings disappointing me. So I'm going Missouri. A couple weeks ago, I picked against them because of the quarterback. I favored Daniels over Pribula. Pribula convinced me. I'm going Pribula over Sellers, although that's no scout's going to agree with me. And I wouldn't even agree with that when it comes to the draft. But Missouri's looked really good. They're well coached. They're strong offensively. They're good defensively. And they have the momentum, which I think is important. So I am taking Missouri this game.
Yeah, I think the Lenore Sellers news hasn't come out if he's going to play or not.
Yeah, even if he plays, who knows, man.
I think if he doesn't play, obviously I'm going to pick Missouri here. I think if he does play, it'll be a very close game. I do think if he does play and is healthy, South Carolina will win this game. But, I mean, it's obviously the easy way out to take the other side. But I really like this South Carolina team. I think they just slipped up in Sellers' injury. Obviously, they were already losing. Didn't help. I think Beamer is a great coach, and I think he'll have his voice bounce back. But if Sellers doesn't play, I don't think they have the offensive firepower to keep up with this Missouri offense that's been showing out these first couple weeks. So I'm going to pick Missouri just to be safe. I think the spread jumped from 3 to 11 in 2 days. So Missouri will take care of business, and then South Carolina hopes and dreams will be crushed because they have a lot of tough games coming up, and they can't afford to lose any of them.
Yeah, I agree.
Which is kind of like the quarterback thing. We hyped up the wrong teams.
We hyped up the wrong teams, and the ones we didn't say anything about, well, there they are.
Yeah. The only one that I guess has shown up is LSU, but not in the way we thought.
Yeah. We hyped up their offense. It's like, well, what's their defense going to do? And the defense is great, and what's the offense doing? Who knows?
Yeah. All right. Two teams that it's weird that they're this good at football, but Indiana versus Illinois, man. A little Big Ten showdown, a weird Big Ten showdown. It's at Indiana. I think the spread is 4.5, leaning towards Indiana, or maybe even 5. I don't know what it's at this point, but what are your thoughts on this one, man?
I've been going back and forward on this one all week. It's been the hardest one I've had to decide. I like that the spread is so big because I'm taking the plus on the underdog, Illinois. I'd really like that. But even with that, I'm going to take the home team. I think being at home really does influence me. And the biggest X factor for me is the quarterback. I think Fernando Mendoza has had a great year so far. So I'm taking him. He's got a big arm. He's got all the talent in the world. And he really needs to cement himself in this first big game at Indiana. And I really like what they have going there. I like their offensive line too, so I think that's just going to be the deciding factor, even though against Illinois is technically higher ranked.
Yeah, I'm also going to pick Indiana, I think. In a big game like this, you side with the home team. Yeah. Mendoza has shown great flashes, like you mentioned. I think, was it him? He came in for Rourke one game when he got hurt, and there was no drop-off.
No, Mendoza was at Cal last year.
Oh, yeah. Who was their backup had a similar name, my bad. But, no, he's a great player. And Illinois, I think it'll make it a little tough for him. They have a great defense over there. I really like their quarterback. Is it how do you say it?
Altmaier, I think, right?
Yeah, Alzheimer. I was going to say
Alzheimer's.
Altmaier. He's really good with his legs, too. So I think it's going to be a great game. It's a weird one to think
of as a big game.
But this could also have implications because I think
for March
they
Madness.
both avoid Ohio State.
Yeah.
Do they both avoid?
I think.
Wait, hold on. I mean, Illinois might not avoid Ohio State. No, Indiana avoids.
State. Yeah, Indiana because they played them last year.
Yeah, so this could be maybe a conference.
Do you even play Oregon?
Outside. Illinois does not. Let me look at Indiana.
Because obviously the big three are Ohio State, Oregon, Penn State.
Yeah. Indiana does play Oregon.
Indiana plays Oregon
and
at
Penn
Oregon.
State. Never mind.
Okay.
So more on the Illinois side, if you can take care of business and you get Ohio State at your house, it can make some noise there. Mm-hmm. Could maybe squeak in if Penn State and Oregon slip up to that championship game. I don't know how tiebreakers are going to work, but could be there. But yeah, also could be a playoff playing game as well if these teams take care of business. But it'll be an interesting one to watch. I don't think I've watched an Illinois game in a while. But yeah, that concludes our preview here.
No, I watched when they beat Michigan last year. That was a great atmosphere, but great game.
Let's move straight into the NFL side of it. A little more of a quiet slate, but there's still some big games here. Will the Rams prove they are the NFC favorites versus the Eagles?
I'm leaning yes. I think they were no snow away from doing it in the NFC playoffs a year ago. They were phenomenal through the air. They are phenomenal through the air now. They weren't great through the run last week versus Tennessee, but they can be great in the front against Tennessee through the run. Kyron Williams has some great games. I think they are phenomenal defensively. They have the secondary. They have, more importantly, the defensive front to be able to shut down that Philadelphia offensive line and rushing game. I just think they're more balanced. I mean, no, they're just really good. I'm leaning towards Philadelphia losing to the Rams, even in Philadelphia. So I think Stafford is the better. He's the X factor. I think he's a little better in moments like these than Hurts. I think the receivers are playing vastly better right now, and I think the Rams can easily make up enough on the run game to compensate for that.
For me, this is a toss-up. I think it's going to be a very close game. I think the key is going to be, can the Rams keep the ball away from Saquon Barkley? Because we've seen the regular season last game, he dropped 250, and then
he was also
game,
in the playoffs. He was
200
really
also
well.
yards. So I mean, Saquon Barkley can torch them. I think if the Rams dominate the time of possession and keep the ball away from him and force Philly to throw, this is the Rams game to win.
Yeah.
We saw them play him close with Saquon and the Eagles controlling the ball, but I think they can't beat him that way by just throwing down the field and trying to match points with them, because Philly will control the ball and win the game that way. So I think that's what they have to do to win. I think that offense is all really talented. Devontae Adams had a massive game last week. I think he'll have another massive game this week. Puka will have a massive game as well. I think it's going to come down to who has the ball left, and if Matthew Stafford has the ball left, he'll put the game on ice. So I keep flip-flopping, but I am going to pick the Rams. I think they are going to win, or at least keep it close.
Yeah.
So I'll explain that later, but I'm going to pick the Rams to win.
All right, perfect. Let's move on to our next showdown. A couple of Bayou Bengals. One is still a Bengal. The other one's now in Minnesota. It's in one of the showdowns between our backup QBs. Carson Wentz, 6 teams started for in 6 years, and his Vikings now, versus Jake Browning's Bengals. Who's got the upper hand this week? Who's getting the win?
Oh, man, this one's also tough. The Vikings didn't look too good there against the Falcons. I am going to pick the Bengals. I do think the Bengals get the upper hand. I think Jamar will have another big game as well. And I think the Bengals will take care of business. I think Wentz is going to struggle to find Justin Jefferson. And I think I don't trust that run game. Aaron Jones is also out. Mason can have a big game, but I am going to pick the Bengals. I think they'll win this one for Mr. Joe.
I'm going to have to disagree here. I'm going to go with the Vikings. I think Brian Flores' defense is the X factor, especially against a QB who there's more film on because he's already started a year. He played last week. He threw 3 interceptions against the Jaguars defense that isn't as good as the Vikings one. And I think Justin Jefferson's a phenomenal receiver, and I think Carson Wentz can make things happen. He's a decent backup as well. So it's all Brian Flores' defense that has me leaning Minnesota.
Yeah, I mean they're a great defense. I just Bengals. I like the Bengals. All right, last game we're gonna talk about here, a little cross conference game on. I think it's Monday night. I wrote Sunday night. Ravens versus Lions, massive game. 2 teams could start, or one team is going to start 1-2. Excuse me. What are your thoughts here on this showdown?
Another one I've gone back and forward on. How can you not? It's Lions. It's Ravens. Unfortunately, I think I'm leaning Ravens to win this game. For starters, just look at Lamar Jackson's record against the NFC. He's phenomenal. Against those teams that rarely play him. I do still think, Detroit's defense still doesn't look great. They still let 20-something points against Chicago. Their offense looked a lot better last week. It looked like last year's offense, but you still don't have Johnson, and you still don't have Glenn, and you still have new coordinators who are trying to learn on that. So I think we get the Ravens. Even though they had a concerning game against Cleveland, they were able to take off in the end. I think this is a get-right game for the Ravens against a big team where they can really make up for that unfortunate loss to Buffalo week 1.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to pick the Ravens here. Lamar just seems to own the NFC. I forgot which was the one team that beat him.
The Giants with Daniel Jones.
I guess. And then, Yeah, man, I think they'll lean on Derrick Henry here against the Lions. And Lamar is going to keep being Lamar. He's going to scramble. He's going to find Zay Flowers, who's had two massive games. I think it'll be a very high-scoring game going back and forth. But I do think the Ravens get the upper hand. We've seen the Lions had a massive throwing game this week, and I think they'll struggle a little bit more.
Yeah.
And it's in Baltimore, so I am going to pick the Ravens on this one.
Nice.
All right, moving on.
Unfortunately, not so nice.
What is your fantasy explosion players for this
All
week?
right. Let's get right into it. I have Jared Goff, even though I still think they're going to, similar to the way QBs have gone off a bit, like Dak and Russ towards the end of the game last week, than Josh Allen and Ravens in that first game on Sunday night. I think it's going to be an explosive with lots of touchdowns near the end, and I think it's going to get Jared Goff over those 20 projected points, especially since the Ravens' passing defense hasn't been great this year. My second player is Malik Neighbors. I mean, he went for 39 this last week. He plays the Chiefs in a game where I think they're going to have to be passing all game, trying to catch up a little. So I think it's very easy for him to surpass his 16 points. Kansas City's 25th against receivers right now in fantasy. And then my last player is Zay Flowers. For similar reasons to what I just explained with Jared Goff, I think he's gonna be the go-to guy for Lamar. Look at what he did against Buffalo, where he far surpassed those numbers. I think he's gonna be able to do something similar to the Detroit defense this week, and he's been really good this year. So I think he's gonna easily surpass that 14.
Yeah, man, I like those. First guy I got is Mr. B. John Robinson, 20 points. We've seen him surpass 27 the first week. Last week got close to that mark, but no touchdown. He had a big yardage game, some catches. I think they'll be up on the Panthers, lean on him early and late, and I think he will get 1 or 2 touchdowns, and he just needs to put up close to those yard totals, which I think they'll lean on him, so he'll get that with ease. Now my number 2 is Mr. Jawan Johnson, 10.9 points. He's done 5 or more than that both weeks. The Seahawks are ranked. I know it's only 2 games, but 32nd against the tight ends so far. So it seems like he's Rattler's go-to guy, and he'll continue to go to him in a game where they're going to be trailing for the most part. And lastly, I got Mr. George Pickens, 10.9 points. Felt way too low. We saw what Detroit did to the Bears last week. I think we're going to air it out because that's what we do. And he's going to continue finding George Pickens. He'll get in the end zone for sure. And I like CD as well, but his points total is a little higher, so he needs to do way more. But I think George with this 10.9 is very attainable. And then let's go straight into your best bets, man, since you always have less.
Miami minus 7.5. I think Florida looked bad last week. I think they looked even worse the week before. I think Miami's secondary has looked good, which could be a threat again to DJ Lagway's interception frenzy. I think that Miami offense looks really good, and I think that 7.5 is going to be closer to like a 13-point loss for Florida. Illinois plus 6. While I do think Indiana is going to win, I think there's a very good chance that Illinois could win, and I don't see a world where they lose by a touchdown. So I think plus 6 is a good line, and I think they're going to be very much within 2 points that game. And then I have a little 4 laughs one. Sam Houston State plus 39.5. This Texas team sucks. I'm not going to lie. We are not putting up 40 points, and we're definitely getting scored on. So Sam Houston plus 39.5, because I have no faith in my team. Then for the NFL, I got Cowboys minus 1.5. They've looked really good offensively. I don't really know. They're going to put up a lot of points, and I don't think the other guys are going to. So the line is, in my opinion, too small. I think it should be like 3.5.
Yeah, I know, but the other guys will put up points, I will say.
No, they will put up points.
Atrocious.
The defense is atrocious. But enough for like that. Dallas is too good offensively to only beat them by 1 point.
Yeah.
And then Matthew Stafford over 22.5. Not 22.5. He's 100% going over 22.5 yards. 222 passing yards. He's gone over that both weeks this year, and he went over it in the playoffs against Philadelphia in the snow by 100 yards. He had 320 that playoff game, so I think he's going to hit again this week.
I actually love all those, man. I have a little repeat on mine. But for college, I got Tech versus Utah under 57.5 points. I think it'll be a very slow game. Those high caliber games are usually slow and defensive. So I think it'll be one of those there in Utah. And then I got a little parlay action. I got a little OU money line. I do think they may cover the spread, but to be safe, I'm laying just the money line combined with Ole Miss money line. I think they'll take care of business at home versus Tulane there. And I just like those two teams to win this week and throw them in a parlay. I think it's minus 110, 115. So throw it on there. Don't have to worry about any points. And then lastly, I got a little Missouri, South Carolina over 47.5 points. I think I like this even better if Sellers play. I think these are two very high-powered offenses. We've seen Missouri put up 40 by himself. And even if Sellers doesn't play, I still think Missouri can put up around 40, and the backup quarterback just has to put up 14-ish points. So, moving on to the NFL, we touched on it. I think the Rams are going to win, but if they don't, they always play the Eagles close, so 3.5. Get that field goal. I think they'll keep it close. And I got the Colts minus 4.5. I don't even know who they're playing. They're playing a whack team, I think. I think they'll lay.
The
I
Colts?
do know who they're playing, yeah.
No, the Colts play the
They
Titans.
play the Titans, yeah. Come on, man. They can lay 4.5 at the Titans. Danny Dimes is going to show.
Yeah, I almost went with that one as well.
He's good. And then I had them at plus 1.5, but I'll keep it updated for you guys. Now it's Cowboys minus 1. So Cowboys minus 1, I think will win this game.
Mm-hmm.
Bears are not very good.
Bears are not good.
Weak secondary is going to be a throwing fest for both teams, but I like our throwing attack better than theirs.
Yeah, you're seriously telling me the Bears are gonna lose within 1 point of
And
it?
then lastly, we touched on it. I think this is going to be a shootout, maybe even close to the 70-point mark. Lions-Ravens over 51.5 points. I think it'll be another one like those Bills-Ravens game we saw week 1. High scoring fest, just going back and forth, trading points. So those are our bets. Thank you guys for watching. Enjoy the games this weekend and tune in next week for our reactions